Radiant team ban.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bridon League. This is going to be another best of one. BBC going up against YellowSubmarine, and it's going to be a double Balkan Bears feature after they already played Moscow 5 International earlier today and won 2-0. If BBC lose one of these games, if they win this game or the next game, then they're going to be on top of the group and they're going to be moving on. But if they lose both, then we have a tiebreaker situation. Regardless, it is going to be difficult as BBC have been just cleaning house with everyone in this group. And so after a little bit of a delay, we're going to get into this game. I'm Mike Loris, got D-Sword here as well. They were talking about Kunkka Priestess in the lobby. Hopefully we could see that.
I mean, anything with Kunkka I'm happy with. I already said that in the lobby, but yeah, I don't know. Do you think we'll see that here? Do you think it was like a little strategy here trying to freak people out?
I actually think it is something that they're going to go for. They have gone for it in the past, and it has worked out. It's not really the easiest thing to do, landing a arrow after an X. It's possible, but it's hard. But if you do manage to get it, then the follow-up there is insane, and PSM's Kunkka is legit, so they're going to open up with the Brewmaster, so nothing too weird to start things out, but who knows what's going to happen in the future. We do see the bans out. We have Witch Doctor and Ember Spirit as rather early bans. BBC just ran with the Witch Doctor earlier today, though YellowSubmarine banning out or getting the Ember Spirit banned out from them, not sure if that's totally worth it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. The Witch Doctor ban is, I don't know, it's one of those things that if you combine it well, it could be quite support, but at the same time, it's debatable. It really depends on the team. If you don't want to fight him, I guess is viable. The Brewmaster pick, though, was it recently nerfed? Yeah, the rock damage was actually nerfed, so I don't know. Wow, BBC already starting out with a very strong duo.
Yo, BBC, they're going real deep from the first two picks. Broodmother is a hero that most teams do eventually end up respect banning versus BBC because Bridon plays a mean one. And you know what? You already ban out two heroes with a good amount of AoE. Tidehunter, generally a very good counter to the Broodmother. Axe is the best counter to Broodmother, but why ban it out when you could grab it yourself? This is a very aggressive play from BBC, and they are going to be okay with this. I mean, you might as well just pick up whatever you're the most comfortable with, and they are very comfortable with the Broodmother, although I don't really know if I've seen them play an Axe recently.
Yeah, I don't know. Axe is a hero that's been seeing a lot of play actually recently. Ever since he's been considered like a really good hero due to his call and whatnot, and he is pretty decent. And we already see the Mirana, so this could be a Mirana Kunkka game. But talking about the Axe again, he's a good hero, especially against the Brewmaster. Gets you a lot of lockdown, enough to bring him down. You don't really need a silence in that case. Those Scarlet Mates are still an option, but at the same time, he does fall out as the game goes late. So the combination with Bruma is actually really powerful because they have enough pushing power to take the game before the 40-minute mark.
Once that mark is actually passed, then both these two heroes typically do tend to fall off. Broodmother maybe a little bit less so than the Axe, just because having the incapacitating bite is huge no matter what. But it's going to most likely be BBC kind of racing to end the game, whereas YellowSubmarine, they should probably be looking to draw this game out as best they can, as you don't really want to try to mess with an Axe early on if you can try to avoid it. So we have the Darkseer being banned out, Storm Spirit, a little bit of respect being paid towards Miracle. Wouldn't be surprised to see a respect ban towards Massacre, the Timbersaw, if they really fear that, but I mean, Axe is already picked up. I don't know how likely that is. It seems like BBC are just concerned with protecting this Broodmother and Axe, taking out a lot of heroes that are really good against them, and the Darkseer now being banned out.
Yeah, I mean, the Darkseer is quite an uncommon pickup regardless, so I don't know if YellowSubmarine would have gone for him if it was the case, but I mean, it's a good band. Like, I haven't seen a Darkseer in ages, actually, and it's actually a really good, strong hero, but they just don't pick it, so I don't know how good of a band it is. YellowSubmarine still has many options to deal with Broodmother, really anything with lane clear, and obviously the Earthshaker is still in the pool. I mean, they can still pick that up. I don't know why they haven't banned it yet.
Well, YellowSubmarine, if we are using our additional intelligence that says that they're more inclined to pick up a Kunkka, that means they're less inclined to pick up an Earthshaker, and core Earthshaker, whenever I see it, it's just really disappointingly bad, especially if most of the time you put him in the mid lane, it's going to be met with an Axe or something like that, so not fun times there. We have Viper being banned out and Slark just very annoying to deal with heroes. And then BBC going to grab a Rubik. Nothing too huge to steal right now. Stealing Clap is okay, stealing Mirana skills is okay as well, but seems like they just want to make sure that they have some sort of point click disable. Seems like they could have gone for Avenge though if they really wanted to get that.
Yeah, I mean, the Rubik is a good hero because it also deters some picks from YellowSubmarine if they want to pick up like anything on the Enigma or anything of the sort. I mean, it could still, I guess, a possibility.
5 seconds remaining.
So it is good in that sense. It's also like it's good at the whole pushing as well, a little bit better than the Venge. Just with that Fade Bolt's actually pretty nice, and I think it's a solid hero overall. Can get the Thunderclap and whatnot you said, and it can occasionally maybe steal Mirana's ultimate, Brewmaster's ultimate. It's a little hard, but it's a possibility. So it's just a more versatile hero, I think, than the Venge. And we finally do see the Kunkka. So Kunkka Mirana support duel, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're both going to be played support. You set up with an X, and then when you throw the arrow, wait till the arrow is a little bit closer, yank him back, and hopefully that's going to be a kill. At least that's the plan for YellowSubmarine. And it was actually one of the first games that they played in this tournament, if not the first game of the tournament, where they had the Kunkka, they had a Brewmaster. They ended up going for a huge wombo combo strategy with also a Warlock being picked up and a Tide Hunter, I want to say. And it didn't work out in the end. I think that was actually up against BBC. It didn't work out in the end, but it was a pretty good display of Kunkka, and they have quite a bit of team fight right now, YellowSubmarine, and if they land any of that, then, well, first of all, Broodmother Spiderlings, it's a lot of free gold, just caught in the chaos of everything, but it's not inconceivable to see YellowSubmarine just completely clean up within one wombo combo.
Yeah, I mean, as well as Spiderlings, you talked about that Tidebringer could actually clear them out pretty easily. It's not usually what support Kunkka goes for, but at one point in the game, he's probably going to pick it up. So as the game progresses, if he's needed also, like the Torrent is not the worst against Firelings, it just takes too long. But if the Tidebringer is needed, he can also use it. He can also pick a couple early levels, leave the X at 2, or maybe even the Torrent at 2, depends on what he wants to do. So like the Kunkka is pretty versatile in that sense and can pretty well counter the Broodmother. In addition to that, he's also really good against the Axe because the Axe usually stays in place, so it's easy to land the Kunkka combo. So I don't know. I think I really like this pickup, and it really combines well with the rest of the heroes. Another question is, what are the 2 cores left for YellowSubmarine?
Well, they have a good amount of stunning already, a good amount of heroes that just buy space. BBC, though, they do have heroes that can just jump right into the middle of things and start causing havoc, so I think taking a mobility hero might be a little bit good here for YellowSubmarine against just the Call and Rubik right now. Someone like a Morphling seems reasonable, although up against an Axe, I don't really know if that's really what you want to do. Heroes around those lines, and Gyrocopter is going to be that pick. It's bottom line a hero that can fight early on if needed, and it's a hero that could actually abuse the fact that if you do land the X arrow combo, you will be able to very quickly kill off your opponents. Close in with the Rocket Barrage, and most heroes will die from that. Maybe Dazzle will interfere, but that's about it.
Even maybe use a Holy Missile if you need that extra lockdown as well. It's actually really powerful. It's definitely going to hit if you get him with the arrow. So I really like this pickup. Really goes well with the aggressive playstyle that YellowSubmarine wants to do. And also, if they manage to stick into the late game, they can really easily do it because the Gyrocopters are insane at carrying the late game. So there's also that. And he's also a really good ability at farming the Broodmother Spiderlings. So, I mean, all around, really good pickup, but the Rubik becomes a little stronger now with this pickup because he will be able to steal, like, almost every spell is really useful from Gyrocopter except for the Flat Cannon. So, I like it. I like the pickup, but BBC is not, like, completely lost just yet. The final pick needs to be pretty aggressive, though, to go against this lineup, just to be able to win in the early game.
Yeah, and they already have the Axe to try to do that. Broodmother needs a little bit more time, and up against what YellowSubmarine have, it will be difficult for the Broodmother to really get going with their Spiderlings. Although there is the small combo, or potential combo, of Dazzle Broodmother. If you get a whole bunch of Spiderlings and then Shadow Wave them, it is a deceptively high amount of physical damage, and if the enemy team isn't expecting it, and most of the time they aren't, you could very quickly get out of kills from nowhere. So it's a devastating combination there for BBC, but outside of that, their support's more on the lower end of damage. Then the Enigma is the pickup for them. This is something that they have been running a couple of times, BBC, I've seen in the past, where they just pretty much go all in on the mid game. This is a very much so pushing lineup where they're going to rely on the power of the Axe and Broodmother early on and the physical nukes, as I said before, in order to end the game. If this does go into a late game stage, there's not much that BBC can do versus a Gyrocopter except for try to hit him with a Call and Black Hole.
Yeah, that's it's quite interesting. The Enigma, because it changes the lanes, it's probably going to be, I mean, is it going to be an Enigma in the off lane in this case?
It's going to be a Miracle Solo Mid Rubik. They already have done this in the past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so that's actually going to be really interesting seeing the game like that. I mean, you're going to have a pretty strong, I mean, pretty bad cores in that sense, but once it gets to the mid game, you're going to have a hard time countering them. But YellowSubmarine has a really good strategy with the Kunkka and the Mirana, with that aggressive duo, can roam around and can easily get kills. So if they can dominate the early game, the BBC is going to have quite a hard time in the mid game. And YellowSubmarine finishing up with a Magnus. Really good pickup to counter this Enigma as well. A very good team fight as well, and obviously combines with all the rest of the heroes. And they have a really good mid game themselves, so it's going to be a mid game game.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be that way. You have your utility from the Magnus, of course. Being able to empower a gyrocopter is huge, just because he tends to be on the lower end of damage for a good portion of the game, but Empower fixes all of those problems. And of course, Shockwave is pretty darn good at clearing out both the Eidolons as well as the Broodlings. So it's going to be YSub probably relying on their level 1s and their very early game to really get a firm control of this game, versus BBC. Their lanes are not really the strongest, but perfectly functional, and at a certain point the pushing is going to be just blowing up, and if Mass Carry gets a fast Blink Dagger on the Axe, then YSub are going to be on the defensive for most of the game. Level 1 though, their Kunkka and their Mirana are fully turned on. They don't really need that much help, and looks like YSub, they're going to smoke up and go to the top lane real fast. Introduce who's playing what. YSub got PSM on the Kunkka, going to grab X marks level 1. Hybrids on the Gyrocopter with Barash. On the Brewmaster, F is going to be playing the Mirana support, and that leaves Dale on the seemingly off-lane Magnus.
As for BBC, we're going to have Masakari as the Axe in the offlane position. Might be getting caught out actually here. PSM going to find him. It has the X marks on the spot. Not going to use it just yet. Counter heal to become a Masakari right now. Rocket Barrage being used. And the arrow. Plus the X marks going to hit him. And that's going to be a dead Axe. First blood going for YSub quite easily. And continuing with the presentation, we're going to have Mr. Dazzle as... played by Laser Dodo. Yeah, Azer Dodo. 3 Azer Dodo up there as a support. Miracle is going to be the Rubik in the mid position. And bottom, we're going to have Yapzor as the Enigma in the jungle. And Padrino as the Broodmother in the carry position.
Alright, so Mass Carry kind of getting blindsided at level 1. And that is more or less the combination that you would expect from the Kunkka and the Mirana. You X mark, and then you wait till the arrow gets closer, yank him back right into the arrow. Done deal, you're going to get the kill. Even if the Brewmaster and Mag weren't there, the right-click damage would have been more than enough. So Mass Carry, more on the tanky end of the spectrum, yet he still was annihilated by that combination, is going to be lending his Observer Ward down towards the bottom lane. Don't really know where this Axe is ultimately going to land. It seems like he's not making any movement towards the top lane. Is it just going to be a dual jungle for BBC? That is incredibly greedy, but it will be a little bit difficult for YSub to punish it. For now, though, yeah, it's going to be an off-lane Dazzle who is going to be on the receiving end of a Kunkka Mirana gank, but this is definitely not the laning situation I expected. I guess if you're unpunished with this, you're going to be getting a lot of farm that's difficult to stop.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, it's actually the second time I've seen an off-lane Dazzle, funnily enough. I don't recall what the last game was, but it's a weird thing people are just kind of trying out a lot right now. I don't really like this... dual jungle, I guess. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of farm on these. Well, suppose a lot of farm, because once you get hit level 4, so like they're gonna Enigmas usually dominates the whole jungle, so you're either gonna share farm or you're gonna start ganking with them. I don't know how effective it's gonna be, and if supports from YSub rotate as I'm expecting, because they have a Kunkka and a Mirana, it can be easily punished.
Yeah, Yapzor maybe will have a couple of Eidolons around so that an arrow angle is not going to be easily landed by YSub. Axe, though, is clearly at the mercy of those two supports, and he's going to be doing his best in the jungle. But looking at these solo lanes, we got the Dazzle who's getting absolutely nothing up in this top lane, and YSub, that's kind of their plan. There's so much kill potential here that they're, just by having heroes up there, forcing the BBC side to fall back. Over towards the mid lane, Brewmaster is actually getting outlast hit by Miracle right now. The base damage of Rubik with a Null Talisman start is just slightly larger than the Brewmaster, and Fade Bolt is also going to help in there as well. So it's a slightly favored lane for Rubik, although not massively so, and he shouldn't really expect there to be that many rotations towards his lane. And down towards the bottom lane, Mag and Brood, that's probably not going to be a lane where much happens, unless Dale gets a skewer into the tower, which seems unlikely.
Yeah, no, right now, unless there's some amazing rotation coming up, maybe a smoke axe, something of the sort, it seems like it's be... Yeah?
Sit on Miracle, Barash. Gonna put a lot of damage into the Rubik. That was just a random freehand arrow from Mirana, yet Miracle now very, very wounded.
Yeah, but the Rubik's gonna be able to survive as well, and I mean, he has the telekinesis and they do jump on him, so there's the chance, and the arrows keep flying, actually almost hitting Miracle a second time, but he's ready for them now. The Mirana's gonna stay in that position, just, I guess, offering some psychological harassment maybe to Barash, because Rubik is dominating the lane for now, so...
Yeah, and of course, bottom lane's going okay for BBC, and it's going to be a lot in their jungle where they're going to place their hopes, because the Gyrocopter is getting absolute free farm. It's 3 minutes, or not yet even 3 minutes, and he already has a Helm of Iron Will, so now he's able to tank the creep waves, which means that PSM will be able to freely pull the wave as much as he possibly could want, and the Gyrocopter is going to be able to tank under the tower. Would have maybe liked seeing him go for a Hand of Midas instead, but it's pretty much along the same line of thought, is that he's going to be getting a lot of farm, and he's also going to be putting some serious pressure down towards bottom, where the Dazzle is pretty well hidden. He will get quite a bit of experience, but if they see him, and it looks like they might, oh no, Dazzle, run away and hope for the best, because here comes the X, here comes the arrow. He's not going to get the Grave out, and he's dead.
Yeah, that was quite unfortunate for the Dazzle. I mean, pretty sneaky tactic. I gotta admit, it's pretty smart, but very, very cocky by his part. The Kunkka was off with did a good job of, kind of inspecting his surroundings, guessing where the Dazzle was, and it's only 2 kills to the top lane, which is quite a bad for the BBC team.
All right, so we're just gonna switch over to the not current gold, net worth, just because 2 junglers is going to mean that last hit's not really too useful. But right now, YSub, their top lane is completely on lockdown, getting a couple kills and getting this tower down eventually to boot. Can't really get much better than that. And Daletown down towards bottom is managing the broodlings rather well. Don't know exactly how many broodlings he's killed off. 19 for 2 versus the 20 for 7. I can only assume that some of those are broodlings, so Mag not with that much gold compared to the Broodmother, but Brood is not going to be able to conveniently and very easily force this Mag out of lane without someone helping her. But again, because of the double jungle, BBC, they don't really have heroes that could easily go around and help the lanes if they're going poorly.
Yeah, that's quite what's happening right now. The only thing is that I don't think YellowSubmarine is taking enough advantage of this situation. I mean, I don't know if they know. They probably should by now. Because the Bridon and Kunkka have stayed mainly in the top lane, and getting kills on the Dazzle is actually not that important. Even off-lane Dazzle, when it's played, is not like super core kind of Dazzle. So, I don't know. I don't know how much I like this. I don't know if I like what the supports are doing for YellowSubmarine, even though they are stacking a lot.
I think it's probably going to be them just waiting for Brewmaster to get to level 6. Once they have that, then they're going to join up with the supports and then try to make something happen. Because before then, yeah, the supports can land a really nice stun and they'll be able to get that done, but actually getting anything after that is a little bit difficult. Over towards mid, Barash is going to pop out of Invis, take a lot of nuke damage. Oh, Black Hole going to catch PSM as well. Yapzor in the right place at the right time. Going to catch them both, and PSM going to try to torrent his way to freedom, but that won't work either. Miracle is going to run him down. And wow, Yapzor, he completely ambushed the invisible Brewmaster, who I guess just didn't go up into the high ground before he actually decided to engage. Got blindsided by an Enigma, and it's ultimately going to be BBC's win.
That was a little bit, I think, cocky by YellowSubmarine there, I would say. I mean, like you said, like he didn't really check for the Enigma quite yet, and I don't know, went it a little bit aggressively. I think it could have been prevented, but either way, it's 2 kills going in the way of PBC, and an arrow not hitting Miracle. He could be the next kill to go YellowSubmarine's way. The Brewmaster might go for the bounty instead. Telekinesis being used by Miracle, and now Mirana tried to block his way, but failing to do so, actually. Miracle now going to hit Mirana with her own arrow and killing her in the process. Now Barash wants to avenge his dead teammate, but he can't get a proper thunderclap out. And wow, beautiful play by Miracle over there.
I thought once he stole the spell from Mirana, then his kill potential was just all down the tubes, because he was holding a level 3 clap, I believe. So that and a Fade Bolt would have, presented a lot more of a threat than anything that Mirana had. But arrow from point blank, it does do quite a bit of damage. Fade Bolt, which is maxed out at this point, is also going to be pretty devastating versus the level 3 hero of Mirana. So 280 damage, not really the highest nuke in the game, but versus a hero with barely 500 HP, you're gonna be pretty happy that you have it. So it's a nice pickup for Miracle, 2-0-1 now on him, and he still has that arrow, which is actually really scary. It's not something that YSub are going to really be prepared to play around, and here comes that arrow. It will unfortunately miss, but you know what? That is going to have itself back up soon enough, and it will be a constant threat towards the mid lane. Mirana can return fire, but it's just at that point a coin flip as to who gets hit by it first.
Yeah, it's gonna be an arrow wars right now. I mean, you can see the arrows flying left and right. In Miracle, I mean, they didn't get a good arrow there. The only issue is, I guess his team is not as prepared to rotate in with the 2 junglers, like you said earlier. But they're a little less capable of that doing so. A Miracle now in a really bad position here. I don't know why. PSM could find him with the Xbox spot. It's being used. The arrow's gonna fly. There it is. The Xbox spot gonna hit Miracle right in the stomach or whatever. And Miracle's now gonna be going down to the torrent there, but the shallow grave enough to save him. The fire spirit should be able to kill him off though here. The shallow grave is finally gone. Miracle somehow still surviving, but going down to Mirana in the end. Meanwhile, where was the Dazzle? Actually forced to TP right near the Ancients. The arrow not gonna manage to hit him, and that was a pretty easy kill for YSub. But the BBC get Magnus down bottom.
Yeah, that was just Broodmother doing it by herself. At a certain point, Magnus, you'll be able to skier out of there. You'll be able to Shockwave occasionally to try to clear some Spiderlings. But the Shockwave doesn't outright kill a whole Spiderling army. It will just bring them low, or maybe kill some of the weakened Spiderites. How much health? Yeah, it will kill the Spiderites, but that's pretty much it. Bridon had a lot of Spiderlings there, so Mag getting blindsided by that. Now that he has RP, is going to be a little bit safer versus the Broodmother, but still not quite safe enough, as he will be constantly harassed by these spiders. And Broodmother at this point is going to just slowly but surely start swallowing up this lane. Up towards top lane, huge fight going down. Mascari getting graved and being chased down by a couple creeps. Will salve and try to book it. Torrent going to fly wide as Mascari now is going to bend the corner after having already killed off the Gyrocopter, trading the Dazzle for it. And is going to turn around for PSM. Man fight time for the Axe. Looking for that call. Will be a little bit out of range. And Kunkka, he has another Torrent and a boat. He will throw the X marks, but he gets dunked. And Arrow is not going to have a chance to land because the Kunkka is not alive to yank him back. And Axe, though, he's still being spotted out by one range creep. It's only level 4 Mirana with only level 1 Starstorm to mess with Mascari. Mascari can actually probably take this fight if he really wants to, because he does have that additional creep to lend some spins. F is very quickly going to realize that and will back off, but he will be backing off right into Miracle and Yapzor, who are trying to kill off the Brewmaster in the process, who will get away in the meantime, but still, Axe is showing his face now. Broodmother is starting to kick into gear. This is BBC slowly but surely starting to get online with more and more of the heroes.
Yeah, this is kind of scary because this is BBC. I mean, now that we're getting into the mid game, they're kind of starting to dominate here. YSub, and they lost their window, I guess, of opportunity where their Kunkka Mirana combo could be very powerful. Because now Broodmother's taking over the lane, and you also have a pretty good Rubik. He's actually doing a really good job here. In addition to obviously the Axe and Enigma, which are very farmer now. Enigma with Might is interesting. Wow, actually. So already getting to a very strong mid game and could potentially take this one easily here if they continue this way. Now Dazzle and Mid being thrown up with a Tornado. Miracle in trouble. No, it's going to be Dazzle actually now. They're going to go with an arrow, going to hit him even though he used Shallow Grave. So he's not going to go down quite yet, but in a couple seconds he will. That's a final hit from Kunkka, and Rubik thrown up in the air, but nothing happening from there. Now because the Broodmother trying to kill F here. One more hit on to do it. That's a dead Mirana now going for Barrage, who now Gyrocopter actually coming in for using that beautiful ultimate to try to kill all the Spiderlings and the Broodmother, but failing to do so. In the end, not very effective ultimate by the Gyro.
Bridon at this point is going to start making a pretty large web network so that he could jump from the bottom lane to the mid lane to the Ancients and clear out everything slowly but surely. Losing the Dazzle there, not really the end of the world for BBC, especially since they get the Brewmaster ultimate pulled out, and they also get a couple of kills in trade. And it's a nice little pickup for YSub for sure, but losing the Mirana there and making it so that, for the most part, it's not really worth it. Killing Miracle there would have been worth it, but clearly that didn't happen. Now Miracle's making a rotation down towards bottom. This Rubik still doesn't have a Force Staff or a Blink Dagger or anything to really make use of his initiating, or potential initiating power, but as long as Bridon is still looking tasty down towards bottom lane, and YSub are going to be rotating in heroes, then there's possibilities here for Miracle, throwing the Broodmother into the front, levitate onto Dale. There's a boat coming, though. It's going to land onto Bridon as well as a 2-man RP into the boat. They're going to skewer back onto Miracle. He has a skewer stolen. Going to put F all the way up to the high ground, but Miracle, he's now going to try to run away. He's getting a lot of distance between him and the enemies. Bridon, in the meantime, is walking away very slowly. Miracle, one more arrow shot. Won't quite kill him off. Another one. Won't do it either. He will die to the tower of all things. They a little bit too close there. And Broodmother will survive in the meantime, but Mascari with the Dazzle, looks like, will take out the Gyrocopter in the meantime, but down towards bottom we have another X marks onto Bridon. Torrent a little bit late, however. Shockwave will also miss, now popping the ultimate. Bridon wants in on Dale. Sentry Ward coverage for the Radiant, not quite there, and Dale, invisible, should make it out alive. Ultimately a 1-for-1 trade. Rubik to die, Gyrocopter also to die, however, as Axe is doing some pretty good work with his fresh Blink Dagger.
Yeah, that was a quite insane team fight actually. I mean, the only issue I see there was using their RP. Now, actually, team fight's going to continue here. Skewer being used by the Mana Stretch to run away, but the axe is too fast with that haste rune. Not going to hit Dale, not needing the Culling Blade. The Culling Blade from PSM though. The Brewmaster using that ultimate, trying to kill the Enigma, who has a black hole, but is not going to be able to use it obviously because there's the little Brewlings, and now one Brewling is going to go down. The other two left. The Earth Brewing is actually being blocked, so they want to kill the Brewmaster really eagerly here. The Broodmother now trying to hit him, but the arrow actually going to hit Masakari. Now the Gyrocopter ultimate coming in as well. Telekinesis on the Gyrocopter. He's going to be pulled away, and the Brewmaster has a blink in 4 seconds. He might be able to do something, killing all the Spiralings with that Thunderclap. Now going for Bridon, but the Black Hole, taking 3 of them. One goes down, Barrage goes down afterwards in Hybrid. The last one to go down. This hectic team fight almost coming to an end, but in comes the boat from the Kunkka, and the Magnus coming in. He has a shockwave and misses Padrino there. Now PSM in trouble. The Telekinesis is going to hit him with a stun. PSM is actually going to go down there to the Dazzle, and the X-Martial Spot hitting Dale. Can they finish him off? They have the incapacitating bite, but they can't actually follow through because they're too low on health. Padrino now in a lot of trouble if he gets hit one more time by that shockwave, and the team fight finally going to end with very few from BBC dying. Wow.
A 3-man black hole is just like the cherry on the cake there for BBC. They could have backed off pretty much at any point after dealing with that Brewmaster ultimate. Like, they did a really good job keeping the Enigma alive. First of all, the Dazzle with the Grave meant that no kill was going to happen with just a Brewmaster ult. And they got the initiation on the axe with the arrow and then thought about it with the call down, but that probably was just a mistake. Axe is very tanky. He has a Dazzle right behind him, and Dazzle is keeping his distance. He has the level 4 heal, so he was pumping out a lot of extra HP towards the rest of his allies, and YSub, they were just kind of getting suckered in by the fact that, hey, everyone was looking so low, but every time someone was low and was able to escape, then they would come back at decent amount of HP, i.e. Enigma coming in with the black hole, and then we're just securing the deal there for BBC. It's a massive team fight won by the Balkan Bears, and they don't really lose that much of anything in the process. So it's going to be a dangerous time for YSub, and the scary thing is that this is really BBC's best. It's where BBC are at their strongest. And if they're performing with 5-man wipes, then YSub are going to have to really batten up the hatches and try to stall this one out. But Blink Dagger's already up on Axe, Miracle rather. He's a little bit away from his, but they already have the mech on the Enigma. BBC, they can make plays pretty much anywhere they want to right now, as long as it's Axe to start things off. He will dodge an arrow, first of all. That could have been bad. But he will clear off a couple of Ancients, and he's starting to get really big as well. And over towards mid-F, he already used Leap, and he's going to get chased down by Bridon. Drops the Sentry Ward so that maybe they can get a return kill. With a Blink Clap, there's an X there, plus Torrent, plus Ultimate for the Brewmaster. However, Torrent misses, Boat will not. Bridon is going to get mech'd up, though, by the Enigma, and he's going to run off to the south. Now the Enigma's in the most trouble, actually. Bridon will get turned around with the Ultimate. Calldown's going to land onto Yapster. It will be the death of the Enigma. Bridon's still alive, however. Here comes the Mag. Will whiff his skewers. Bridon's off to the side. He will probably be safe as long as he doesn't run into any sentries. Now he's going to be A-okay. Missile will follow him to the ends of the earth, but there's nothing that YSub could do to follow up here. Enigma falling at the trade of the Marana, but the rest of BBC, they weren't even there. If they were there, that could have been really bad for YSub, but Axe had his hands full with something else. I don't know where Miracle was. It's actually a pretty lucky timing for YSub to go in there.
Yeah. Actually quite surprising. Like, they got a Enigma there, but they managed to get the Brewmother, and the way she's playing is actually really beneficial to her team because she's got a lot of gold. I actually don't know what she's going for. I mean, it can't possibly be a Radiance, can it? Like
Butterfly, that's what Bridon likes to do when he's holding this much gold, yeah.
Okay, well, but Bruno with Butterfly is actually going to fit her style really well because she's playing this kind of a very offensive, very team fight oriented Broodmother, who's actually doing a really good job. And there's the Eagle song, like you said. Wow, smart. And they are going to be able to use the Bruno as a proper carry instead of pushing towers, but being able to capitalize on her pushing ability when they win a team fight, which is insane. Now, middle Miracle is in trouble. He's going to be hit by Barash, who, wow, they're actually not going to pursue this at all. Okay.
Masakari coming in, and that Axe is still one of, if not the most dangerous heroes in the game right now, so it's YSub giving the Axe a lot of respect by not going for the Rubik over in mid, but Bridon is still up down in the bottom lane. Now is actually going to act a little bit more like a standard Broodmother in the fact that he'll just push the wave. Of course, Enigma helping out there greatly as well. Tower will be destroyed. The rest of YSub, though, going to come in, and BBC, they are without their Rubik right now. He is very far away. He just wants a Blink Dagger, and he will get it, but will he get here in time? Bridon, he's going to be revealed right now. Arrow will land to Masakari. Here comes the boat and the call down. Masakari is in a lot of trouble. Dazzle going to get obliterated. Masakari is soon to follow. a two-man pickoff for YSub, and they're still tracking down Bridon. They catch him with the X, bring him not quite up to the high ground. He is in a little bit of trouble still. Bridon is going to walk right into a sentry again. They need some more crowd control there. Blink clap. Bridon is just unkillable right now. Leap stolen by Rubik. That's not going to do jack. Bridon now going to put up some more webs as the Rubik does blink out of there. Bridon is just unkillable. They can't catch up to this Brood. They can't catch up to Miracle either because of that stolen leap. And BBC, they disengage with the rest of their heroes. But now that they have the Rubik with the Blink Dagger, I don't think YSub are going to have free openings like that any longer. Because at the very least, there will be a fight on their hands whenever they get an opening like that.
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight for YellowSubmarine, but still not getting that many kills, only actually 2. So I don't know. Now that the Enigma and the Axe obviously getting stronger, and the Axe is going to get a blade mail rather soon because it's a really cheap item. They're going to be even stronger. Miracle now finding F here, using his illusion rune to actually try to kill him off. He should be able to, but whoa, not enough hit. The leap being used, missing, and F now up on the high ground. Miracle being attacked by those creeps, now killing off F. And also getting those creeps in the process, because why not? Meanwhile, the team fight down bottom, actually, it's going to be Broodmother fighting. Oh, never mind, the team fight disengage as I start casting it.
And it's 3 team fights, 4 team fights now as Brewmaster cleans up the Rubik with that split. Up towards top, they went in for the Mirana, and it was a very easily done kill, or not the Mirana, the Magnus rather. Very easily done kill there. Axe with the Blink Dagger gave chase after Skewer and cleaned up everyone up there, and Broodmother killed off the Kunkka in the meantime. So whole bunch of 1v1 engagements for BBC. That is really where they're at their strongest when you compare it to YSub. Packing a lot of team fight on the YSub side. If you could dodge that by just 1v1ing everyone consecutively, then you're going to be really happy. Vapsor, though, this is not a fight that he really wants because he's going to get X marks. He's going to set up for the Midnight Pulse, but he's going to throw him into the air. Arrow not quite there. He doesn't have enough mana for a black hole after having used the mech. He will dodge a little bit and try to go for this tower destruction, but he will not make it alive. And now Courier also being picked off as it goes toward mid. Looks like Barash is going to deny a blade mail to the Axe. So nice couple of pickoffs by the YSub team, and BBC, they're doing still pretty well, but I'm just concerned that they're not doing well enough. They have to be taking some pretty decent fights, but so far these pickoffs, although nice, aren't really enough. Mascari, though, going to get jumped towards mid. A nice call onto a whole bunch, but the Skewer is going to disengage so that there's not as many spins. The Bridon Spider is here as Mascari going to Culling Blade a creep just to try to get some distance, but the X-Mark is going to yank him right back, and now he's in a lot of trouble. He will pop another call, but that won't do anything with the Dazzle a little bit too far away, and also it's going to be the Rubik caught by the missile. It will follow him, and Hybrid is going to give chase. Blink Dagger up from Rubik, going to give him even more distance, and it looks like that will be his survival. But now YSub, as a group of 5, going to take down this tier 1 tower at the very least. And BBC, they do have a black hole when the Enigma returns, so they can try to make a fight here. Boots travels in. They actually are looking for an engagement with Bridon. He's spotted by a missile. He's going to get X-marked. Boat and Torrent and Arrow. Bridon's finally caught, and he's finally squished. Spider down. Azer and the Apps are going to be in a little bit of trouble now. They have the black hole, but they really don't want to use it. Only on one hero. Now Dale going to come in with an RP. Connecting onto 2. Hybrid going to close in. Miracle's going to steal the Shockwave. That's not really what he wants. He's going to lift up Hybrid, do a lot of damage with the help of those Eidolons. Going to kill him the Gyrocopter. Now to Dale they go. They will get him as well. Brewmaster in the split. He's going to try to kill off the Yapsor in the meantime, but this Enigma is really tanky with the Dazzle still in the area. Arrow going to fly wide as Yapsor is going to survive after all this. Brewmaster, he's going to return. He has some help from the Kunkka, but that's about it. Yapsor is still going to survive this, and Brewmaster has to think about leaving right now, and he will do so. Off to the side he goes. He's going to be A-okay. PSM, though, not as lucky as he's caught in the corner. Literally has nowhere to run, and he will be shocked down by the Axe's axe. Actually, Miracle Shockwave from the tree line. It seems like he got himself stuck there. He's going to help kill him off as well. It's a nice, chaotic, hectic team fight. But after all said and done, it's the sustain from BBC that carries them through.
Yeah, and that was a Blink, by the way, trying to find the Brewmaster, but he was like barely there. Really unfortunate. He had a Telekinesis ready as well, so oh well. Either way, they are still taking, like you said, dominating this mid game, but it is getting later and later into the game, so they really gotta start capitalizing into some towers. Surprisingly, with the Broodmother, since she's gone for the build she's gone for, which is fine, they haven't been able to take many towers or offer too much pushing pressure, even with the Enigma and Broodmother kind of always there. So they gotta start doing that before, you know, the Gyrocopter start getting farmed and whatnot, because he's actually really farmed. He's not that farmed, I guess, but he's building his BKB. He already has his Demon Edge, which is probably going to be built into the MKB as well. So I don't know. He's a strong hero right now.
And Miracle is going to walk right into an arrow right now. That's a 5-second one. No one's actually going to capitalize on this, but yeah, this is the time where Enigma Core and Axe Core, Rubik Core, these are heroes that are going to start to fall off soon enough, and it's going to be a difficult time for BBC, especially with the Dazzle being picked off, caught in the call down. He will get himself a little more time with the Shallow Grave. Bridon and Miracle both here. They're both going to dodge an arrow. In fact, it's going to connect up to Dazzle. Here comes the boat. However, Mascari going to get a pretty nice call onto a whole bunch, but he's already pretty much dead. Black hole, though, onto 4 from YellowSubmarine. Going to mean that BBC can turn this around, killing off 2 in a hurry. Barash doesn't have a split for another 10 seconds. A Miracle going to return fire towards F with the stolen arrow. Will get that kill on PSM. He's fighting the Enigma on the sideline, but F is going to get cleaned up, and YellowSubmarine chasing down PSM now. Blink forward from both him and the Rubik. PSM is going to get caught by Mascari. Miracle is going to fade Bolton down. It's a complete team wipe for the BBC side off of an amazing black hole. It pretty much does not get any better than that. And now they're going to go for Roshan. Now they can go for some tier 2s as well. And seems like Dazzle's pretty happy about that. But man, that Enigma black hole just saved BBC's bacon.
Yeah, I mean, those black holes have always been on spot during the game. He's been doing really good black holes. The only issue I see, I mean, they are taking Roshan's fine, but I really would like them to see applying some pressure at least to his tier 2 or something of the sort. I guess they can do both things in this case. And Bridon, I think the butterfly is coming to him at this point. Yeah. And he'll also have a blade mail for the axe. So the items are almost there for all the heroes. And the Yols, I think, is for the Rubik as well. So they're getting, I guess, their core items. This Midas Enigma also working very well, getting a BKB. And they're ready for a team fight. Ooh, this Roche might not be able to. They actually can't finish this Roche right now because there's a Magnus with an RP ready to attack him.
But the arrow is going to connect onto said Magnus. Blink forward, Mascari going to catch 2 in the call. They're going to try to focus down the mag. He will get decapitated. They're also trying to occupy the time of Hybrid, just try to distract him while the rest of the team does the work in the back end. Mascari and Bridon doing their best to try to bring down PSM in the meantime. Now Hybrid has a chance to turn things around. Shallow Grave and a Mascari means that he's going to get a little bit more time to try to escape, although I don't think that's going to happen. He's going to kill off the fire aspect, but trade his life for it. The rest of the BBC now on full retreat. Bridon still has fighting amounts of HP as Miracle is going to steal split. He will get that out onto Barash now. They're going to try to go for the Brewmaster at the exact same time and Hybrid. And PSM dropping pretty low, but he will disengage Bridon. And now the Rubik going to go to town onto Hybrid, dropping very low. He has lifesteal, and he's surviving for a little while longer. Bridon needs one more injection. With a couple more hits, Hybrid is now going to fall. With the Rubik now returning to his main form, he's going to jack an arrow, then blink away, fire the arrow, connecting onto F, and get the kill, and will survive because of Shallow Grave. My god, Miracle is out of control. Barash is trying to beat down Dazzle in the meantime, might make that happen with the Blink Dagger, but even if Dazzle dies, it's not really the worst thing in the world. Miracle, circling around right now, is going to decide to blink out because he doesn't have a telekinesis on his person, and Barash, he's going to finish up the Dazzle, but it's the smoothest of plays from Miracle. That is just amazing. He's going to connect another arrow onto the Brewmaster. This time no follow-up because Broodmother's busy cleaning out the Aegis, but a miraculous fight, this time from Miracle. First it's the Enigma, then it's the Rubik. Who else is going to step up and just clean house? Because BBC, they're firing off on all cylinders, but still, I don't really know if it's going to be good enough because they are slowly approaching the point where the heroes are going to start to fall off without these miraculous steals or black holes.
Yeah, we have been mentioning this constantly throughout the game, but it is true that with these constant team wipes, they are slowing down the game, or like it's slowing down the enemies to get the game, so it'll take him longer to get into that late game. Even though the Gyro is pretty farmed and he's going to get an MKB rather soon-ish, I guess. It's still going to take quite some time if this keeps happening. And obviously Bridon in this kind of a team fighting position is actually helping to do that. So, I don't know, like it's still not maybe not exactly the 40-minute mark, but it is getting there. And they are applying some pressure finally now with Bridon. What do you think his next item is going to be here?
Probably just something to fight a little bit more directly. I don't really know if you want to go for a BKB, but if he doesn't want to go necessarily for the BKB, something similar to help him fight early on is going to be great. And he just has to be the one just to right-click at this point because he's the only late-game damage that BBC really have, and it's starting to get to that point where he's needed in that role. So, yeah, probably like Daedalus MKB, BKB as his eventual build. Brewmaster, though, is going to get jumped right now. He does have a call, but he's going to, split rather. He's going to get called in the process. Does get the split out, but there's not really much follow-up here from the rest of YSub. They're going to lose the fire aspect to a decapitation. The wind aspect is going to do his best, but Brewmaster being forced into his split, and BBC, they are going to be a-okay with that. They have pretty easy access to the mid tier 2. In the meantime, top lane being pushed a little bit by Mag, who still doesn't have his Blink Dagger. But this bottom half of the map for BBC is pretty much completely on lockdown because of the Brood Mother. And it's just a matter of time before they want to go for high ground or just a tier 2 mid.
Yeah, right now, maybe the best option here is push all the other towers so they apply more pressure with the Broodmother, and then they can split push freely if they choose to do so. Because if it gets to a late game, I guess split push is always an option and it's still relevant there. So getting the outer towers will be pretty important. So getting the tier 2s, which are already pretty low level, pretty low on health, we find now it seems Miracle's going to be behind PSM, and he might be going down. They used the Moonlight Shadow to make sure that he's going to go out, and Barrage going on Miracle right now, plus Gyrocopter ultimate. It seems like Miracle's going to go down there to the Torrent as well. Now they're going to go either on Broodmother or the Dazzle, but they choose to disengage here because they are being hit by the Weave. The Broodmother can deal a lot of damage if he wants to, and he's taking a really weird path there. With the Xbox spot, they hit him with a Torrent and maybe the ship. No, not enough. The Broodmother is too quick actually. So in the end, not disengaging quite yet. The team fight's still continuing because Broodmother just kind of having these hectic movements. Now they want to go on in. Barrage is starting to attack, and Torrent's going to hit him in a couple seconds. Hybrid now though being hit by Massive Fury. Culling Blade misses there. Really unfortunate, but they're going to go on Barrage regardless, and Barrage going to be caught in that Malefice. Not enough though. Not enough damage even with the Midnight Pulse. And he's going to be forced to leave at this point, and they are going to take this tower freely if they choose to do so. The arrow flying out though, almost hitting Bridon, missing, and the Shockwave trying to I don't know, help the tower here, and Dale using that Xbox spot in a very defensive way. The second outer tower, the second tier 2 has been hit, and then a two-man black hole. Oh my god. PSM now show plus followed by a beautiful call. PSM going down first, Dale going down second. The Brewmaster has used his ultimate. Parino is going to be going down, but he has the agents, so it's not a big a deal. And these Brewlings only have a couple seconds left here, like 7 seconds left, and he's going to send this Earthling back home because he can't fight anymore. Or can he? Maybe. He's still trying to do something. Miracle going to evade that stone, and the blink comes out immediately. The arrow also being used. Miracle, beautiful play by him, evading that arrow with the Yule Scepter. Now they're going to go for those racks, and that's probably going to be a full lane of racks because only the Kunkka has buyback right now, but Gyrocopter tries to do something here. He does have his ultimate ready. He has that flat cannon as well. He's going to clear the creeps quite easily with that ultimate. Parino now in trouble, but they're not going to go on him quite yet. They're preparing for it. They use a rocket on him, but right now they're going to disengage, and they did take the melee racks. Padrino now gonna be stunned for a second, but no follow-up there. So it's gonna be the end of the team fight, hopefully, maybe, because they're trying to find Padrino, but Padrino is too sneaky with that spider and those webs and whatnot.
Actually, he's going to get caught with the X Torrent. Only 2 heroes here. Barrage is going to arrive, but the X doesn't really work enough. Broodmother is going to slip away yet again. A couple of things went really well for BBC that fight. First of all, Axe blinking into a Gyrocopter most of the time is going to be suicidal. However, the timing at which he did it meant that he had Blade Mail up and the Gyrocopter was firing with the Rocket Barrage. So the Gyrocopter pretty much killed himself, and he wasn't able to do anything about it. Padrino is going to get caught once again with an X. Can he slip away from this one? It's a tall order, and he's going to be cratered. He will take a fall. Finally, the Broodmother is stopped, but they do take the mid-racks. But aside from that, Rubik, has stolen now the split, and he had some pretty nice plays dodging the arrows there as well. So Miracle is ready to go for the next team fight. He's going to get that split online, and YSub, they should know about this, though. Rubik is packing that one, and also, of course, the Black Hole reinitiation from YellowSubmarine. Up onto the high ground, really darn smooth there. These are the type of plays that BBC are capable of making, and man, if they could actually make these plays happen, if Axe could continuously catch the Gyrocopter with a Rocket Barrage turned on, with the Blade Mail turned on, then Axe doesn't really have to do much of anything, because Gyrocopter is going to be killing himself whenever he hits this Axe, and he will not have a choice in the matter. Range racks are eventually going to fall over in the mid lane. It looks like a blink mech. Wow. Another smooth move by YellowSubmarine, going to heal his Eidolon so that they can finish off the Raxes. Means that YSub now have no mid lane. Up towards top and bottom, looks like towers are going to be pressured. YSub still not out of this game just yet, but man, BBC are playing so damn well that it's hard to say that YSub have any sort of real shot when everyone is making these amazing plays.
Yeah, and I mean right now I guess the last fighting chance for the guys at YSub came with that Gyrocopter. He does have an MKB, so they're going to be able to hit the Broodmother. I don't know how strong that's going to be, though. I mean, the Broodmother doesn't have that much of a tankiness, but he is grabbing that Lincoln's. So, I don't know. Plus, the Enigma now has his Aghanims. That's going to be really scary, actually. That is a lot of damage. That's 5.25% of your life per second, which means, you know, the 4-second black hole is 20% of your life at the end of it, roughly. So, if he gets anyone with black hole, that's going to be a lot of damage coming from him as well. So, I don't know. Right now, the YSub team is going to have quite a hard time, but they do have a chance. Just one barely last chance if they win the next team fight.
And that team fight is most likely going to be in their positional favor, As BBC, they're going to be funneling into the Y-Sub base, which means Arrow is going to land. Miracle is now going to be in for a lot of trouble. He does have the Shallow Grave behind him, but no time. Dazzle sleeping. Yapzor is going to come in with a nice black hole onto 4 once again. Massacre cleaning house with the dunks onto 3 already. That's a double kill for the Axe and onto the Brew before he gets split and onto PSM. It's an ultra kill for Massacre. And Yapzor, what a black hole. Oh my god. This is just a disgusting game. Brewmaster can't even get his split off. Now top lane is going to be demolished. I thought that would be great for YSub because they kill off the Rubik before anything else. No split involved. But they clump up a little bit too much, and Yapzor just delivers. Everything hits home, and that's going to be top lane tier 3 down with only Gyrocopter and Brew up. They can't afford to fight into this. Axe is always going to be looking for a jump in. If he finds his angle, it's going to be a melee. That's going to be a range. They're going to blink forward for Bridon, but that's not going to do anything. Man, again, BBC deliver. This is just a game of huge plays, and that's going to lead to 2 Raxes now down in their favor.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, they're making amazing plays here. Like the Enigma, the Axe, the Broodmother, they're just all playing amazingly well. So I think it's really that execution that's making them win here. And if they can take the last lane to Rax, and I think that's probably going to be their objective once they get Mega Creeps, I think there's no going back for YSub. But there's still, again, the last fighting chance. It's not like Brewmaster's that great in the late game regardless. It's not like YellowSubmarine is that great in the late game. They just have the Gyrocopter mainly and the Magnus, I guess. But it's not like the late game is guaranteed for them either until it gets pretty late. So I don't know. The PVC are just having a ball here. What is the plan here for YellowSubmarine?
Oh man, they have still a hell of a lot of AoE. They have to make sure that they get their AoE off and they don't let BBC get BBC's AoE off. But so far, like, the opposite has been happening. The black holes, the Rubik plays, they've been getting in onto YSub before YSub's been getting a single good RP off. I think the max people we've seen in the RP is 2. That's just not really good enough at this stage. And they have all these huge AoE skills, but they're just not landing. It's up to execution at a certain point, and well, BBC, they're just executing a little bit better, and now it's going to be the slow siege of the bottom lane. YSub, I was going to say up on top that they have the positional advantage because when you're going up the high ground, you tend to cluster up a little bit more. Really dangerous versus the Brewmaster, a Kunkka, and a Gyro, and a Magnus. So YSub should have the edge there on paper, but at this point, they're a little bit on tilt, of course, and they are also facing down a pretty dangerous lineup. They're going to try to get a snipe off and try to skewer someone back or tag someone with an arrow. Even if they do that, though, I guess they could actually take a team fight here. Yapzor is nowhere near this, and BBC have to be really careful without their Enigma.
It's very interesting how now. Well, it seems like Brewmaster's going to do a similar play. I don't know. Oh, he's been hit by the call regardless, but yeah, right now it's just the YellowSubmarine team is using these tactics, these desperate tactics, to try to get back here. It's quite unfortunate for them, and like you said, if they manage to get a good RP plus the good call down and a good ship and whatnot, obviously the Wombo combo is a possibility. But while Masakari and obviously Yapzor keep doing these amazingly good plays and amazingly good initiations, they have no chance for that.
Yeah, it's going to be a very slow siege, continuously down the bottom. Eventually, I think something is going to land on YSub, or Bridon's just going to YOLO charge the high ground. That's good too. He has a Lincoln Sphere, and now look, their entire bottom lane is covered with webs. Where are you supposed to go? You can't go anywhere. Massacre, he's going to start up on the tier 3. Not much damage coming out of this Axe, although they do have Empower stolen. Bridon is just threatening off onto the side. If anyone wants to fight the Broodmother is more than happy with taking that challenge, and honestly, she will probably come out in the lead unless you throw an RP her way. BBC, they're in no rush at this moment because YSub, they're not really farming that much, all the while top lane and mid lane are pushing in. Eventually, Axe is going to find an angle to jump in and connect onto someone. He's going to find F on the corner, actually. This is bad for Murata. Gets force-stabbed out, leaps away. But they're just forcing YSub back without casting anything but Eidolons and Broodlings. Here we go, though. YSub are going to try to make something happen with the Moonlight Shadow. But just like that, BBC, they're in now the positional advantage where YSub have to go up high ground if they want to attack BBC. This is not a good place to be in as YSub, yet they're not able to break out of it.
And you see Pedrinho actually working as a ward pretty much here and offering that constant pressure.
He's going to catch 2 with the call. Here comes the boat. Not going to connect as much because Yapzor is going to get yet another black hole onto Dale and onto Hybrid. Where are the dunks? There's 1 onto 1. There's 1 onto the Gyrocopter as well. X-Mark stolen. PSM is in a hell of a lot of trouble right now. He's caught in the Midnight Pulse. X-Mark's not going to be cast just yet. Buyback from the mag, but another call dunk. Mascara is going to collect himself a triple as Miracle going to get another lift up onto Dale, bring him right back into the clutches of YellowSubmarine and Bridon. You can't escape this. He's going to get a really nice RP off onto 3 with a nice torrent to follow up on 4, but there's no follow-up after this, especially when everyone's getting healed up by the Dazzle. PSM is going to do his best to clear the creep waves at the same time, try to remain elusive, but he gets called in the process. Will get yanked back by an X-Marks, but it's a double kill for YellowSubmarine. Miracle, he's going to dodge tower shots and will survive, although Shockwave is going to fly. He will blink dodge that as well. GG well played is called because Bridon in the meantime is killing off the bottom lane. And wow, this was some game, man. This was some game.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't believe in BBC with the draft, but the execution is spot on, so congratulations to them, really.
Alright guys, so this is not quite the end of the day. YellowSub versus BBC is in the books, but BBC now have another game versus Black, which is, well, I guess doesn't really matter since BBC are already on the top of their group, so they're just going to be playing for funsies, but that's fine because if we get to see more plays like that, I'm totally down with that. Either way, we'll be right back with that game in about 40 minutes. Are you kidding me? Oh man, that's a long wait. But either way, we'll be back eventually with the next game, BBC versus Black. I'm Mike Lars. I've been joined by D-Sword. If you enjoyed the cast, be sure to hit that follow button. Follow us on Twitter at Mike Lars, at DSwordfish, and we'll be right back for the next game, guys.